The brightest and best junior doctors are being left without a job because of a controversial new recruitment scheme. That's the claims of many in the medical profession, and now the government has promised a review.
Well, in a moment, we're going to be speaking to the Health Minister, Lord Hunt. He's joining us from Westminster. Good morning to you. First, though, we're going to speak to Tim Nedas. He joins us. He's a third-year senior house officer, and you're struggling to find a job, really, Tim, aren't you? Explain to us what's happening.
That's right. The current situation is that training in the UK used to be a long-winded process in which one became trained as one felt able to perform duties. Several years ago, a decision was made to modernise medical careers, which itself is not necessarily unsound. The result of this has been that the selection process has been altered. Initially, the selection is that they're trying to cram 30,000 doctors into the training posts of 22,000. The next issue is that those that don't get training posts are going to be put in glass ceiling jobs, which are not necessarily lawful and furthermore do not allow anyone to express themselves professionally.
Right, glass ceiling jobs basically means that
if I'm unsuccessful in this round, I'll be given a fixed-term specialist training appointment if I'm very lucky, and that will mean that after 2 years of that, I can no longer apply for any training posts in the United Kingdom.
So there are 2 points here. One is that there are too few jobs for the people who want them, and the second is that the system that is allocating those jobs seems to be flawed. Now,
but there's also a wider issue, which is that with the number of junior doctors on the floor going down, on the 1st of August, no one knows who's going to be doing the on-call rotas overnight at weekends. And as far as I'm aware, you can't logistically cram 9 doctors into the space of 15 when the European Working Time Directive limits those doctors to 56 hours a week. So the decision of the West Midlands consultants not to appoint the interview on Monday.
Yeah, they walked out of the selection board because they were so unhappy, didn't
was
they?
based both on the future safety of their patients, because they did not feel the most appropriate candidates had been shortlisted for interview, and also because they felt the selection panel was invalid.
Just very briefly, what will happen if you don't get a job?
Well, already I'm faced with not having an interview, and my morale and the morale of several thousand people is completely sapped. But if we don't get a job, then I don't know what will happen, because I'm a young man, I'm looking to have a career which allows me to have a family and educate my family, and that's all. The door has been closed on me by the NHS.
Tim, thank you very much for coming in. Let's address some of your points to Lord Hunt. We said we've got the Health Minister in the studio there. Thanks for joining us, Lord Hunt. You really heard what Tim was saying. It doesn't look like he's going to get a job. He's done all this training at a cost of hundreds of thousands of pounds, and he might have to go abroad.
Well, let's be clear, there's always been competition for specialty training, and indeed one of the problems that we've faced in the past and why we're making the reform is because there was so much dissatisfaction with the old way of training doctors. It was very patchy. You have some people in senior house officer jobs for many years waiting to do specialty training, not being able to do so. The reforms that have come in because of strong input from doctors, from medical bodies, the medical royal colleges, to have a much more cohesive training programme. Now, we are only in the first round of those appointments. Only good quality applicants will be appointed. Many more people will be shortlisted for the second round, and many more doctors will be appointed then to go into those specialty training posts.
Right, so the point is, Lord Hunt, that you were warned last summer by the British Medical Association that this system was flawed, that not only did you not have enough jobs for the doctors, but the selection process wasn't going to work, and we were going to be left in this mess. Why didn't you take action last summer?
There's been an awful lot of discussion with the BMA, with other medical bodies and the royal colleges. Let me stress, the medical royal colleges had a very heavy input into the process that we're now organising. Now, clearly, there have been some teething problems in some parts of the country and some specialties. We met the royal colleges this week. We agreed to set up an independent review under the chairmanship of Professor Douglas. That is meeting immediately. It will report by the end of the month. We will take very seriously their recommendations.
But why can't you do something? Sorry to interrupt you,
Yes.
Lord Hunt, but I'm just wondering, for the doctors who are out there, people like Tim, who are just wanting something to be done and worried about what's going to happen to his future, why can't you do something now? You don't need a review. The system is in chaos. It's not working. Change the computer system and do something about the fact that there are 8,000 vacancies, 8,000 doctors there that don't have jobs.
And Lord Hunt, last night the Department of Health press statement said that the selection process needed urgent review. How can you possibly appoint some doctors in this round under a system that you yourself or your department agrees is flawed, and then give me an open house at a 40% run of the jobs in the second round. It's preposterous. The first round should be scrapped. I'm sorry to all those trainees who have interviews. Many of them supported Colette Marshall and her colleagues over the weekend. You cannot possibly say a system is flawed and allow it to run. It's a disgrace.
We met the Royal Colleges this week.
I'm aware of that.
They did not want us to scrap the round one process. People are being interviewed at the moment.
But want and sensibility are different things, sir.
If I can just finish. Many of those appointments have proceeded very satisfactorily. To simply stop it would just cause more confusion and uncertainty. It's much better that we do this very quick review, that we then inform the process as a result of it. And of course I understand the need to restore confidence amongst the doctors who are applying, and that is our aim, and that's what we'll do.
OK, so we're going to get action basically within the next month?
Well, the aim is for the review to meet immediately. We'll take note of what they say, and they will report in full by the end of the month.
By the end of the month we can see changes. That's what I'm trying to get at. When are we going to see changes?
Oh, if changes have to be made, we will make them as soon as possible.
OK, Lord Hunt, thank you very much. And Tim, Nedas, thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Good luck.
Cheers.
Just after 7:45.